Alright guys, it's me again, and we got the heater going today. It's this old LB White going. Anyway, we're going to probably try to assemble this 441 in this video. I have done a little work on the lower transfers, and I'll show you kind of what was going on and what I didn't like and how I think this is going to be a little bit better deal. The guy that used to run this 441 swears by it and said it was probably one of the stoutest saw he ever put his hands on. He was a professional logger, and well, anyway, without further ado, let's get into this cylinder, and I'll talk about what I done and why I done it. I haven't really cleaned up anything yet. What I've done is I actually elongated the holes for the lower transfers right here, right here, right here, and right here. And I still need to shape those to get them exactly the same as each other. But to start with, I couldn't even get this tip in, because it would only go about that far. So I actually widened all this out here and here, and I needed to work on it a little bit more. But as you can see, this one here is where I wanted it, and I still got to get the rest of them to that point. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work on that until, and there's quite a bit of meat in there. So I'm going to work on that for a little while longer, and I will show you the what they look like when I get done. Alright guys, so this is what I've got now. I've actually just opened up to kind of match the crankcase. That way air doesn't, me see if I can't find something to make an example with. So the crankcase sets here where the screwdriver tip is, and if it's got to flow into here, it hits this right here like a wall and bounces back. So what I'm trying to actually do is extend this on out so that when the air comes out of the crankcase, it just flows right into the transfer with no obstruction. I'm just working on trying to get the air to moving, because the old setup, let me get you down here, or maybe you could see what I'm talking about. Alright, the old setup, the way it was you can see where the gasket ring is, and these right here, I've actually took it all the way to the edge of where the gasket seals at, which may be wrong, but this is the old cylinder, and the piston was shot. So, I mean, worst case scenario, I'll buy another cylinder, but we're gonna see if this works anyway. So this one here, I've actually brought out quite a bit, and that's actually a bug in here. I'll have to get him out. That's one of them stink bugs that was covered. It covered this whole saw at one time. So I actually tried to make this to where there's no lip as it flows into the transfer. Unobstructed airflow means it should be a better air pump, and that's already quite a bit wider than what it was. I wish I took a video or a picture of this thing before I ever started on it. That way you could see what it did look like, because this is a long way from what it did look like. And I am going to put this thing back together with the base gasket. So we'll just get the base gasket here. And as you can tell, that actually extends past that base gasket just a little bit. So we may chop on the base gasket just a little around the edges here, so that this thing will flow better. Or if I don't, I may even just like take a screwdriver and just start folding the end of it. I don't know. This is a pretty hefty base gasket. It's a metal gasket, so I don't know. We'll get this cylinder cleaned up and go from there. Alright, anyway, so I do have the crankcase cleaned out. Everything rolls smooth in here. And I have lost a needle bearing in there somehow. Oh shoot, that ain't good. That's the reason why I lost it. She busted. Alright, well, guys, I guess we're not done yet. I do have some spares laying around. So I'm gonna take this saw, I'm gonna take this thing, flip it upside down and get all these needle bearings out. And then we're gonna go from there. Yeah, I dropped a bunch of them in there apparently. So I guess that's what we're fixing to do. Just clean this thing out. Let me get back with you. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to just call her quits for a while and order a new wrist pin bearing, because out of all the little needle bearing, cage needle bearings that I have, I do not have one to fit the wrist pin and the connecting rod on this 441. But at least you get to see what the transfers look like now, and I'll have to order the bearing, and then when it comes in, we'll try to stick this thing together. I really didn't intend for it to fall apart like it did, but I should have probably looked at it a little closer, and maybe y'all can learn from what I should have done. And well, anyway, guys, if you liked just looking and talking about the transfer port on the 441, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Appreciate y'all, guys.